ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਇਸ ਵੇਲੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਰੀ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਸਰਵਿਸ ਦੇ ਮੀਡੀਆ ਲਿਏਜ਼ਨ ਆਫੀਸਰ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨੇ ਈਐਨ ਮੈਕਡੋਨਲਡ, ਉਹ ਇਸ ਵੇਲੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਨੇ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਆਪਾਂ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਔਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਕੋਲੋਂ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਗੁੱਡ ਮਾਰਨਿੰਗ ਆਫੀਸਰ, ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ so much for joining.
Yes, good morning.
Sir, do you have any update on the recent shooting which happened, second time in South Surrey?
Yeah, I think you've pretty much captured it. For the second time in about a 4-day period, the same residence in the 17,000 block of 32nd Avenue was targeted in an extortion-related shooting. Last night at around 7:35, members of the RCMP Surrey Provincial Operations Support Unit responded to a call of shots fired, attended the residence. Fortunately, there were no injuries, but certainly there was property damage as a result of the shooting. So at this point in time, the General Investigations Unit of the RCMP has taken conduct of the investigation. And once again, police in Surrey are dealing with an extortion-related shooting.
So what kind of measures were taken place when the first shooting happened?
Yeah, I can't go into detail about it, but suffice it to say that whenever there is an incident like this, we go through a lot of safety planning. We go through, obviously, from an operational side. There are a number of overt and covert measures that we take. The unpredictable part, of course, is criminals, especially people involved in these heinous crimes, are at the end of the day trying to leverage fear. And certainly one of the ways that you can do that, and we've seen it unfortunately a couple times in Surrey, is when you repeatedly go to the same location. And so we are abundantly aware of that. We are aware of, obviously, the 95 extortion investigations that we have on the go, as well as the 44 related shots fired incidents.
Officer, in the previous act of shooting, one person was injured. Can you confirm, sir?
Yes, I will confirm that. So there was a worker at the property who was working on an exterior portion of the home. He suffered non-life-threatening injuries and was treated in hospital and is expected to make a full recovery.
So are you treating that shooting incident as extortion as well as attempt to murder?
Yeah, so the original incident that took place on Saturday, obviously we had to glean more information and investigate. It came in as the shots fired. The team, liaising with the Provincial Extortion Task Force, has come to the determination that yes, in fact, that is an extortion. And so we see last night's regrettable incident as a continuation of that.
What is the reaction of police chief on these files, especially? What kind of priority has been given to all the officers to deal with this situation? I mean, this is going out of hand. I mean, it's not just only Surrey Police, but we are seeing, I mean, even the provincial government is empty-handed on this.
Yeah, I can say that it is a top priority for our organization and definitely for Chief Lipinski. The challenge, and I've had 26 years in policing, the challenge, whether you're dealing with a lower mainland gang conflict or what we're currently going through with extortions, is people who are criminally inclined don't often tell you in advance of the things that they're going to do. And Surrey is a large jurisdiction. The 95 incidents of extortion, there isn't an officer working for Surrey Police Service or the RCMP Surrey Provincial Operations Support Unit that isn't aware of extortions, that hasn't had assignments that relate to extortion investigations. That's top to bottom. Everyone in both organizations have know the priority and have likely been involved in investigations at various levels. The challenge, and I think what people are focusing on, is that to date, Surrey Police Service, as well as our SPOSU counterparts, have responded to about 165,000 calls for service.
So can you repeat how many?
Yeah, 165,000 calls for service. And so it's not to diminish the importance of extortion investigations. It's just to be mindful of the fact that every time there's a collision. If last night we had 2 pedestrians struck in different locations in Surrey, there are assaults, there is intimate partner violence, there's impaired driving. All of that forms part of public safety, and so the responsibility is to take care of all of it. Currently, obviously, both at a municipal level as well as leveraging and working with our provincial partners with the Extortion Task Force, and even connecting through to federal resources, we're trying to turn the focus of all of those levels of law enforcement and all of those levels of government to the extortion issue. And so it's maintaining overall public safety and being able to target and enforce when it comes to this new developing issue, which is extortions in our jurisdiction and elsewhere.
Mr. MacDonald, I think we can no longer call extortion a new phenomenon, because this year alone, as you said, there have been about 98 files opened on this. And when I'm looking at this, the house that was shot at on Saturday, the police knew, like they were at the house. Then last night, the shooting happened again. Because of the pattern that these shooters or extortionists are using, surely the systems you put in place garnered you some information so you could arrest the second set of shootings, arrest those people right on site. Like, were we that far away from it all?
Yeah, I'm going to disagree with you. There are a lot of residences and there are a lot of businesses in Surrey. And the people who have been targeted with extortion to this point often are connected to multiple properties, including a home residence. There isn't resourcing in Surrey, even the combination of the resources between SPS and RCMP Surrey Provincial Operations Support Unit, to post officers at every potential location, not on a 24-hour basis. The reality is we can put high priority on it. We can do overt and covert patrols. We can do safety plans. We can use technology to help us monitor. But the reality is it's near impossible to predict where these things are going to take place, because that's the nature of the organized crime component. They have a list of potential locations, as well as obviously new ones that they are coming up with. And it's difficult to play that type of defense. We have to instead investigate, make arrests, leverage those arrests to move up the food chain and find the people who are ultimately the puppet masters of this mayhem in the city. It is not going to be fruitful, and nor do we have the staffing to post members and cars at every potential location where an extortion might take place, or regrettably where a shooting might take place.
Oh, one of the key factors in people coming forward or being scared to come forward when extortion happens is fear for their own safety. So what kind of safety plans are there in place when the same place gets targeted and we have no arrests?
Yeah, and so I will say that with every extortion victim and everyone who is brave, courageous, that comes forward and interfaces with police, we do safety plans. I obviously can't divulge the nature of those because it would be feeding right into the perpetrators. But what I will say is that we do spend time talking to not only the extortion victims, but SPS has had face-to-face conversations with over 1,000 business operators in the city. And so we're trying to keep those lines of communication open, but we're also trying to be transparent, obviously, in the numbers that we're offering. On a weekly basis, we're trying to update the community on what's taking place. And search warrants are being executed. People are being identified. It is part of a larger pattern, and again, it connects through to both our provincial law enforcement partners through the Extortion Task Force and even at the federal level. We need to coordinate the law enforcement approach, especially as it relates to the arrests and charge and hopefully the successful prosecution.
That's a good news, officer. As you said, that search warrants are being executed. Can you confirm how many search warrants are right now executed, and how many individuals or the groups are under the police radar?
Yeah, what I can say is that we have dozens in both categories. What I would refer you to is CBSA and the provincial government came out last Friday and they announced the deportation of 3 individuals and the further identification of 79 individuals that were kind of on their radar.
So you are in the loop as well? You are in the loop for that 79 individuals? The Surrey Police Service?
Yes.
Okay.
Because,
okay.
Well, because we're working with CBSA through that provincial extortion task force.
That's great.
But what I want to do, and as a way to demonstrate, every organization, SPS, the RCMP, Abbotsford Police, everybody, Delta Police, everybody that's part of that is working collaboratively and has similar amounts of work. Now, regrettably, because of the nature of these investigations, not just the complexity, but we've already identified that a lot of this is connecting through to organized crime and even offshore interests. We cannot put all of our cards on the table at the same time until we can show that flow right through to charges and hopefully charge approval. And so what the CBSA release demonstrated to me and hopefully to the public and to the media is prior to last Friday, nobody was aware that there had been 3 deportations. Nobody was aware that there were 79 individuals that are persons of interest. If you extrapolate from that, all the diligent investigation that's happening at the various levels, both in community as well as collaboratively, you can extrapolate that there is similar work taking place. And with every investigation, I know that it's taxing on the individuals, and yes, there is fear. But with every investigation, we're getting closer and closer to collaboratively and individually arresting more people and laying more charges.
Mr. McDonald, my last question to you, out of those 79 individuals which are being investigated, I don't want you to give me details, and you're not going to give me details, that is for sure. But can you confirm whether the majority or all of them are foreign nationals?
Yeah, so that wouldn't be something that I would be able to confirm, but I would say this. We are dealing with a problem that involves people who have legitimate right to be in Canada, as well as people who are under the scrutiny of CBSA and immigration, because they don't have that same status.
Majority count is on which side? Legitimate side or illegitimate side?
Yeah, I'm going to defer that specific question to CBSA. But what I will say is that in all of the intelligence briefings that we've been part of, we recognize that this is a problem that definitely resides within community, where we have some actors and players who, let's say, have status in Canada. But equally, we have found instances where that's not the case. So it's difficult for me to say, yes, this percentage or that percentage, because these are ongoing investigations. So let's say we've identified 2 persons of interest. It doesn't mean that we're not going to identify 8 more.
Fair enough. Officer, so can we say that this is the effort of Surrey Police Service, that you are giving these files to CBSA to look for the options if they can be deported? Or is this a collective effort of different police agencies?
It's the collective effort of everyone that's working on that provincial extortion task force. We have over a dozen staff that are part of that contingent of 40, which includes CBSA. And so what I want people to recognize is everybody is pushing in the same direction through that provincial task force. But individual investigations, whether something happens in Abbotsford, whether it happens in Surrey, there is constant communication and collaboration over those incidents, because in a high percentage, I will refer to percentages now, in a high percentage of those extortion instances, there is interconnectivity and multi-jurisdictional connections.
CFSU is a part of that team as well?
Yes, BCRCMP and CFSU are part of it.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I really appreciate, and that was a very detailed discussion with you, and we really appreciate your time, sir.
Thank you, Ian.
I appreciate you having me on. Thank you very much.